Today is February 16th, 2026. Again, different things get better, then they get worse. And I told you the other day, a bunch of people that were helping out came in and said the police said they taped Melissa and her kids, and Melissa telling her kids to lie in a case, and that they were making everything up. hmm And her son didn't know about it and defended her. Everybody feels bad. It's like you're slow. They said it 7 years ago. What do you mean you feel bad? You should be horrified at yourself. Helping out in this. Well, they told the group of people, the cops did, that during a case, Melissa got caught telling her kids to lie. And her kids were stating they were lying in a case. And her son didn't know anything about it and defended her. And that they're making games of pretend. Okay? And people were talking in Bob Evans how bad they felt. You should. This is that Henry Maffey, that guy Pete Dave hired on his own. Because when you break it down who he is, by all the different things, it's that Henry Maffey is that guy Pete Dave hired on his own. People have said that old guy that showed up forever had a word, you telling us I'll turn on you, try to leave Dave, I'll list you a child molester. You know that bruise on your leg, I used sodium pentothal on you, you know what you said, something about a wrong nightgown bending over and probably accidentally seen your butt in life of pain, try to leave Dave, I'll list you a child molester for it. That's the second guy Dave hired. It's these two men. They're friends and family. Pulling a con, trying to extort money from the government. Okay? Now, again, the cops have told them during a case they were all caught saying they were lying. What is worse, the first month of the case, two men with brown hair, white, 30s, tall, okay? Sometimes they had beards, medium brown, okay? Said they worked for the drug lords. Right in front of the police and the FBI and people in Walmart were loud. Right in front of me. We went to Melissa. Asked her if she'd have the kids make up something to help us get away with everything. She said she would. So I told her to have them make up this. And they leaned over and the guy laughed and went, "You're kidding, right?" And he's like, "No," she agreed. So they tipped off the police. In fact, did they do that on purpose for her to be a fall guy? Absolutely. So they got Melissa telling the kids to lie, and the kids dating in a legally booked house. They were making everything up. They were games of pretend. Laughing is extra. Thanksgiving of 18. And John not knowing and defending me more and more. Okay? And that girl at Faith Family Church with the short blonde hair telling everybody she's retired Judge Pete's daughter, actually Agent Will's daughter. She is that some guy named Pete's daughter. A drug dealer where it's his drug debt. And she's the one that admitted September 30th, 25 at 1 o'clock in the morning that her family even human trafficked people. They sold people to pay off their drug debt to drug dealers. Okay, yesterday. Well, we'll finish out today and then we'll go back to yesterday. Well, I put it up on Facebook. And I put it up on YouTube. If a hospital, right on Google, if a hospital gets caught disclosing information on one of its patients to an unauthorized person, they can close the hospital. The federal government can shut them down. It's right on Google. They can lose their license to have any kind of medical care there because they can't be trusted. Okay? They can't be trusted. And let alone they gave it to the cartel. And then on a fraud scheme, supposed to have corrupted a doctor. My God. Yeah, they shut him down. Okay? Some lady, May 30th, 25, and Pretty Michelle with the long hair that they're threatening for telling on him. You might tell Melissa to listen to May 30th, 25, 1 o'clock in the morning. That lady outside with the Louisville place. What did she say about Melissa? She was setting her up to go to jail for this. Her and Dixie both. And I wouldn't be around to find a law to help them. And she thought she could trick me out of a bunch of money and didn't know I knew surveillance laws. I had better teachers, and I know how to use Google, sweetie. So you can fucking kiss my ass. And I can call you every dirty word in the book, and I wouldn't feel bad for it. I don't feel bad for human traffickers, serial killers, child molesters, selling kiddie porn and selling women and children for sex slaves and be murdered. You need to be executed by our U.S. government for the crimes you have committed here, and for the people that died because of your asinine behavior. Pretty Michelle with the long hair that's going badass. I'm so proud of you, honey. Especially just being Dave's girlfriend's dad. That is a drug dealer and dad to drug dealers. And his friends are helping him try to pay off his drug debt. That was September 30th, 25, 1 o'clock in the morning. So May 30th, 25, 1 o'clock in the morning. May 30th, 25. Those little places out there with the lady that's conning everybody. Sam, I was going to trick her out of a bunch of money. I didn't know she knew surveillance laws. Not as dumb as you, fuck-ass bitch. And you told cops you were trying to trick people out of money. You're an extortionist. How dumb are you? That's how fucking stupid they are. They go to the cops and tell them their crimes. Would you go confess to the police that you're trying to trick people out of money? Only a retard would do it if they were actually doing it. She's a retard. And then how she's tricking Dixie and Melissa into putting their name on this. She won't be around to help find a law to stop them from getting prosecuted. They look for fall guys for this. So Pretty Michelle with the long hair that's telling on them. Tell Melissa she's got the login. May 30th, 25, 1 in the morning. That lady in her own voice said she was tricking her to set her up to go to jail for this. Okay? Yeah. Okay? Told the cops. The car's bugged. They sold the login. Okay? That lady showed up again today off in the distance and went with Carl. Now, they are also out of their own confession that Dave's ex-girlfriend, there was another Michelle with the shorter blonde hair, showed up at Faith Family Church, found out it was her. Her name was Michelle too. She was lying. She was retired Judge Peters' daughter, then FBI agent Will's daughter. And they were above the law, and the law couldn't stop them because they are so great. Bah. It's their drug debt. She's the one on September 30th, 25, that admitted this whole thing was her family's debt to drug dealers. Baker screaming at him. And said, I found out that they showed up and told all of us this whole thing was your family's debt to drug dealers. Is that what's going on? Yes. Huh? That, does she even know who you are? No, I don't want her to know who I am. They're going back and forth. If I knock on that door, will she know who you are? No, I don't want her to. You had her skull bashed in, her raped, tortured, drugged, beat because your family's in debt to drug dealers? Yes, I'm sorry. She ain't sorry. I listened to her friend Matt and her talk about on January 13th, 23, that the Ohio drug dealers were threatening that agent's life for letting people be human trafficked. And was your family letting that happen? Yes, I'm sorry. Your family human trafficked people because you were in debt to drug dealers? Yes. Found out your family was the one that told her new husband's son they could steal everything from him. And she's like, I'm sorry, but I really wanted that part. She's not sorry. Okay? That's where Henry Mavi is that guy Pete Dave hired on his own. The two men where the Louisville police said they found the original case May 30th, 25, 1 o'clock in the morning also. That my ex-husband hired two men on his own. One said he was an attorney, so it made it legal. No, it didn't. It made it worse illegal. Because they know better. They know better. He just said he was an attorney. Said. Okay? They just say stuff. It's just them running their mouths. Trying to pull a con on everybody. Okay? Oh. So today, those two stinking cut assholes show up. Now, Carl's hearing got damaged from having skin cancer removed from the inside of his ear. They had to cut into his ear, remove it as it drained where they had stitches, filled in with the wax, and it set up like a hard mass. They tried rinsing it out, drops, trying to soften it. I had to pay a servant to dig it out. Well, after they dug it out, it damaged his hearing. He can hear if you sit and talk to him. As long as there's not a lot of background noise, he can't distinguish the sounds and a lot of loud brushing air or whatever. You have to talk. They did a hearing test. He comprehends fine when he hears. It's just it got distorted from that thing being pulled out of his ear. It's been a blessing, trust me, with what's going on. So they couldn't scare him to death. Where they pissed the fucking hell out of me, they would have scared him. Right? They showed up. Now, where that old guy said he was drugging me up for Dave, telling me the same lies, and the whole plan was if I tried to leave Dave, they'd list me a child molester. Dave's girlfriend's dad and his drug friend cannot do that. They're part of the drug cartel. It's their family's dad to drug dealers running a con on someone. Okay? That bitch that was with the Louisville police trying to trick people out of money, part of the extortion group. She's so dumb. She told the cops she's trying to trick people out of money. She's such a fucking retard. She was out there in the distance. That child molester's up here. I heard that. I am not a child molester. You are. Gee, were you part of the people setting up button cameras in my home, taping little children going potty and sold it on the internet to people? Yeah. Were you part of having me drugged for fake confessions, photoshopped and framed and beaten raped? You're a human trafficker. You're part of the big drug debt to other drug dealers. Why didn't you just be an adult, and if you made a bad drug deal, take the consequences of the drug cartel when it came for the money to take it out of your ass instead of everybody else's. Instead of harming other people and bringing us into your fucking shit. It'd been better if the drug dealers took care of you personally and nobody else paid for your crimes and your mess but you. So they yell out in the parking lot, I told you, that child molester's up here today. I'm not a child molester, you are. I have one traffic ticket. From 1989, I paid my ticket. And they already know this is a scam from the cartel and your cartel, you fucking retard. And what else did she? She was yelling all kinds of crazy stuff. I had people watch her today so she could see how mean she is to her husband. And I have been giving Carl mama talks. I love my husband dearly. We were friends for years. about 2 years before we started dating. And then we were engaged, about 8, 9 months, and we've been married 10 months. 10 months. So we've been known each other for 4 years. We were friends first. That's one thing nice about marrying your best friend. You can be honest with them. Where they are trying to scare Carl to death. They are trying to scare him into being lost in fear. And I won't let him. Not even a little bit, bitch. And I'll give him as many mama talks as I want. See, up to September of 25, before they beat that horse, poisoned that cat, broken our home, stole paperwork, got into our checking account, threatened to kill me and Carl both. And terrorized us out of our home, thinking that we would hand them the farm. Hell didn't freeze over. You get fucking nothing for being terrorist. And they cut their own throat because I signed off the farm. And there was only one little exclusion in it. If Carl had last-minute medical bills, that the farm would be sold to cover it, or they could pay off the medical bills. That I wouldn't be stuck with them. Okay? But otherwise, his kids wouldn't have got it. They cut their own throat. By being assholes, by thinking they could terrorize land and money under somebody that was elderly. Elderly abuse is a federal crime. I work home health care. I used to work with seniors. I also work with the Department of Disability. Social workers, when it comes to clients, they're kind, they're nice, but they can also be mean as snakes. And what do? Mama talks. What do their doctors do? Mama talks. Why? Because they have guardians. What do the guardians do? It's oh my God. It's like a crazy mother going off on a kid. Doing something stupid. They do it for their welfare. Keep them safe, people safe around them, and bring them out into the best potential that they can have. Do you know why, if a client can cook, they can have us help assist with meal preparation, but they want them to cook? Why? Because it's a life skill. If they can do their own laundry, let them do their own laundry. If they need help lifting a basket or something, fine, but they're to do it. You are to assist if they need it, or at least make sure it's done. Or not maids. We are to make sure they get their medicine, they're clean. Now, if they would be disabled enough they needed shower, cook for them, fed, we do that. But if they still have it capable, they can have life skills, they don't want them to lose them. Because it gives you self-pride. It gives you hand and mouth, everything. Hand and mind coordination of you got to do this, you got to do this. And it's basic life skills that make you feel good about yourself. And it keeps your brain active and functioning. And it keeps your arms motivated. You're moving your muscles, you're moving your back, you're moving your legs. You're moving around. It's bringing humanity into you. It's bringing life skills. They don't want you to lose one life skill until you have to. Because it gives you freedom. Freedom. They want you to talk. They want you to express yourself. They want you to have communication. They want you out in public. They want you seeing, talking, everything. Because they're life skills. And it's called freedom. Okay? Before Rick and Brenda's kids from his second marriage that are not even his, the ones that admitted in a courtroom that Lester that he almost beat Carl to death before. Or just tell him not to swear at his mom. Lied he was only 15 when he was in his 20s, beating on a 70-year-old man. Okay? And Carl told him he's scared for his life. He was that mad at him for just saying don't swear. Him not finding out that we got married and we moved off. They didn't know because they were losing control. They're the ones that stole over $100,000, got canceled checks of over 60 grand, or cash checks. Never paid him back. He admitted he almost beat him to death for that. Admitted, under oath. Lied on his age, though. Okay? Now he's scared to death of these people. Then Carl's opened up where that Deb, his other stepdaughter, sexually assaulted Carl in the courthouse. Under tape and audio. He's scared. He said she even beat on him. All of them did. Scared of his grown son, Rick, that's acting crazy. That he'd bash his head in, kidnap him, take him out to Youngstown, have him found incompetent. They can't do that. It's a federal crime. Trying to scare him into giving up everything. He even threatened to tell the VA and everybody have dementia all the time. You don't have dementia all the time. But they're trying to make him scared till he loses his mind, and I won't let him. I won't. See, he was my friend first. If I was taking advantage of him, like his daughter Audrey, you would have took his money and ran. You wouldn't have stayed here and took care of him. I'm not taking advantage of my husband. And that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of a wife taking advantage of her husband. They are co-partners in life, and everything they own is joint. So you can't take advantage of your husband, you stupid fucking morons. You're joint owners of everything, and it's yours and his. So that is the most ridiculous thing. And he's cost me so much money and wasn't even funny. I spoil him rotten. But they're trying to scare him into losing his mind. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. I won't allow it. Well, after we had to move out of our mobile home, he had panic attacks. Vomited, hyperventilated. I told him, I said, I promise I'll protect you as best as I can. I promise to my best ability. I will find out, and whatever I can find out what they're doing, I'll counteract it. I will block it. I will stop them. And I will keep you safe in every way I can. And every time we hear a threat, I will tell the police so they know it's still active. Okay? Well, he started, well, you feel bad for him. I should have nipped it. I should have yelled at him and nipped it. But he had thrown up, hyperventilated, coddled him. Should have never done that. Because now it's a habit of, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It's repulsive. He's safe. They can't get to him. There's an active threat. Yeah, you have to watch your surroundings. But you can't live in fear. And you can't drive him into every day. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. When those people were raping, torturing me, bashing my skull in, show up and laugh at me in front of people. You know what one of my coworkers did? She yelled at me. I was crashing. She yelled at me. Would you act like an adult, put your board down your back, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and yell back? Yell at those people. If that's the only thing you can do is stand your ground and yell at them, yell at them. I needed it. I had a lot to be afraid of. I had a lot more than people just threatening me, breaking in our home, terrorizing us. Well, Rick even beat a horse and poisoned a cat and tried to frame Carl. And that horse that got beat was his brother's horse. His brother that died left it to his daughter. Carl had been going down there a week before that. He wanted a hope chest that was over 100 years old. Belonged to his grandmother. Wanted it for his daughter. Danny's like, I'll take you down, Carl. Make sure I don't touch you. I have my concealed carry. I will stay right near you. I'll let you get whatever you want off that farm. I'll make sure you're safe. So he took him down there. And he got the hope chest. I had never been down there at that point. He took pictures of his Desi's horse. His daughter Desi, where his brother left her the horse. Desi had found a cat and was letting the cat live with the horse. Okay. She felt sorry for it and she let him live with the horse. Where Rick's making all these threats, I'll tell the Humane Society you're beating that horse and that cat. You have dementia and Alzheimer's. You don't know what you're doing. Da 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 da. Within 1 week, when he was continually making those threats, terrorizing me and Carl, Humane Society showed up. I have a picture of that horse. The whole Danny had took a picture a week before. It's perfect. Said the cat was fine. Little Rob, the neighbor that was helping Desi feed her horse, said they were fine 2 days before. Had a hole in his face and scratches. And the cat was dying. Carl risked his life, went down and grabbed the cat. They said it was dying of liver disease. The neighbor said, what do you mean it was dying of liver disease? It was right across the field. It was fine 2 days ago. We figured that he had freezed it or something. And tried to frame Carl. He told his daughter Audrey that if he had to get his dad arrested to steal that farm, he would. That he was going to take everything. He told little Rob he was in debt, and if he didn't get that farm, he'd lose everything, and he was going to take it no matter what. He even told Audrey he was going to kill both me and Carl. He didn't know how or when, but he was going to do it. Carl was scared for his life. Rightfully so. And then he's bragging how he's getting her home. We got home from the police department making another thing. We went in, things were moved, and the cat was off the milk. I had been getting sick drinking coffee down there. Every time I went to drink coffee, I would double up sick. I couldn't drink more than a swallow too. We figured he was playing with our food too. Trying to kill us. He's very dangerous, and that's why Agent John, I'd like my money. I get the hell out of here. We need new names and socials. He's insane. And it's Dave's girlfriend's dad. That some guy named Pete. He hired him and his men playing with Carl. Now they're trying to rob the elderly. Where he confessed that Henry Maffei, January 19th, 26, and Bob Evans, he was the one inciting Carl's family. That he was going to steal everything for him. Found out he was vandalizing stuff on that property. Told him to stay out of it, steal everything. He can't steal from the elderly. That is a federal crime. So those fucking bitches. I let people watch her today realize she's being mean to her husband. I wasn't being mean to him. I was giving him mama talks. I came home from work, my stomach was upset. And he was doing the I don't want to hear it. I worked all night. I'm tired. Knock off the crap. I missed my husband. You have made this a bad habit. It's as bad as someone that is purposely making themselves vomit. It's repulsive. Stop it. Your voice even changed when you made it a habit of me. I said, even your daughter Audrey said, Dad, you sound like a girl. We were in the truck on the way home, and I said, remember when he demanded the farm before we got married? You came home stomping across ground. How dare he demand my farm? I said, what do you mean? He wants me to give him my farm. I told him I'm not dead yet. It's before this started. Okay? And he said, I remember that. His voice went back to normal for a second. I said, your higher voice, your act, knock it off. Knock it off. And you know what? all the way into the end of September, beginning of October. He drive from Magnolia to Canton, North Canton, by himself. Used to be a long distance truck driver in the Army. He was an tank driver. He went in, when he was a truck driver, went clear up into Canada. He can drive anywhere. So, him driving all over the place, well, he got used to me driving in this area. Became a habit. Well, he needs to start driving again. This driving Miss Daisy is going to stop. You know, if he couldn't drive anymore, I wouldn't have a problem. But this is just a whiny act that's became a bad habit. And I love my husband too much for them to scare him to death. I want him to fight back. I want him to just, if it's just in where they've gotten his mind, don't let him have control over your mind. They're not threatening you right now in front of you. They're not right outside. We know there's threats. We know they're dangerous and they're crazy. But don't live your life in fear. Do not let fear control you. Do not let fear take over your mind. Okay? And you have to be able, you need to start driving again. Well, I hadn't driven in 6 months, so he's not the greatest. He's made a few mistakes, and I gave him lectures. Some idiot guys come in lows. Fuck you. Fuck you. You wouldn't have had a chance in hell anyways. I don't deal with human traffickers and fucking bastards that work with a drug dealer that's just trying to pay off his drug debt. So fuck you. But that idiot bitch out there yelling, I released it so people know she's mean to her. I'm not mean to my husband. Told him knock his shit off. To find the old Carl back inside of him. To stop fighting, start fighting this fear in his mind. Start getting his mind back to where he is okay and not afraid. We had another mama talk on the way home. I said, is this repulsive? Is this person that I know that is making themselves vomit? And there's nothing wrong with them, but they're doing it to themselves. And you're doing this to yourself, and they got control over you because they got in your head that they can actually harm you. They can actually destroy you. They can actually do this. I said, you know what? How they're going to accomplish it? By you letting what their words sink into your brain. And letting them get control. We went to court September 10th, 25, and that Bob's admitting to beating him. He's like, I'm scared to death. I don't want to ever see him again. He stood right up to Bob, had his deep voice, yelled back at him, I miss my husband. I miss my husband doing that. And this thing of him crashing because he's scared, knock the shit off. Knock the shit off. I love him too much to let these people drive fear into him till he loses his mind and fear. Don't stay in fear that you're too afraid to leave, you're too afraid to do this, you're too afraid to do that. They try to do that to me. And I won't let them do it to him. That's called love and tough love. So today he drove. Like I said, he did a few mistakes. And I went and bought him a really nice GPS. Because he's not from right where we are. Don't want him to get turned around. Had my son help program in home. And it talks to you and tells you how to get home. Has a big screen. How to get to his old farm, how to get to my son's home. He can even talk to it, and it'll tell him how to get somewhere. Now, this is a man that down in Magnolia, get up in Canton, North Canton, go to the doctor herself, get downtown Canton, take himself to the VA, go to Louisville, go down to Carrollton by himself. Now, and that was just a few months ago. So the Scared Baby Act is just an act. And it's manipulation of me and making me feel sorry for him, so I do more. Well, he's losing life skills. If I thought there was really something wrong with him, like the doctor said, there's nothing. Even with the Scared Baby Act, he still rates normal. I want you to think of that one. He still rates normal. I had a client that she passed away. Her husband should be about 87 now. He was 85. Still driving his own car, taking himself to chemo. Huh? Doing their grocery shopping, their laundry, their dishes. Paying his own bills, and you would have thought he was 60s. In his mid-80s. Dementia and Alzheimer's is not a normal sign of aging. It's plaque buildup on your brain. They think it's caused by vitamin deficiencies. Well, Carl takes a ton of vitamins. Drinks, protein drinks with vitamins in it all day long. He doesn't have one sign of it. So do you think I'm going to let somebody like that be scared into, I'm too afraid to do this and shut up. Stop acting like a baby girl. That's called love. That's called tough love. And where do you think I learned not only tough love, but from my parents, but from the people I work for? They have tough love on those clients that I take care of. You're kind, you're generous to a point, but when they don't act right, those people are, it's like watching a mean mom go nuts on her kids. Because why? They have to get their attention. They have to be direct because they know better inside. See what I mean? He knows better than this. And that's where I told him, I said, this is you manipulating me to make me feel sorry for you, and it's not happening no more. You're going to be driving a lot, you're going to be using that GPS, and you're going to be coming back to the old Carl of not being as scared. Well, Kathy Stallman told me last year, she said, I had a client once. She said, I've been people's guardians before. She said there was this lady. Something horrible happened to her. So horrible, she was lost in the horror of that moment. And all she could see was what happened to her. Until even afterwards, and she was safe, she sat there and screamed, and she tried to run away. And she even ran through a glass door. They had to hospitalize her and medicate her because she couldn't get past that horror. See, some guy off in the distance said, I realized the guy doing this to her, he was trying to do that to her. And they're trying to scare her husband into losing his mind. And she's trying to not let him. Exactly. Yesterday, and those stupid bitches that are part of the extortion group lying to people, calling me dirty names. Somebody told Melissa they could shut down that hospital if they ever help release information. It's federal law, you idiot. Google. And it's on Google, you stupid, dumbass she-bitch. You little, I can't think of enough filthy words to call you. It's right on Google. If a hospital releases any patient's information that is unauthorized, the hospital can be shut down, and the people involved can get, 35 or 45 years federal prison. Time they got done with everything. So, yes, bitch, that hospital, if it is releasing people's medical information unauthorized, that means I had to sign consent, picture ID for both sides, and verbally vocalize that I gave it to someone. And for what? Otherwise, it's stealing medical records. And yes, they can shut it down. See, she's part of the dirty doctor scam. Not one of mine works for them. They lied, where they already admitted they used hypnotic drugs and told me to say it before. Yeah. August 4th, 25. And where he called Agent John a coward. As if Agent John didn't know they used hypnotic drugs when they drugged her and told her to say it before. That's why she had a metal taste in her mouth and no memory of these people. He was telling people he knew she was being drugged, beaten, raped before the case started. And he let him torture her. Is he a coward? Some kind of coward? August 7th, 25. Investigators got him again saying that stuff. So, investigators outside Lowe's to the two extortionist ladies that are running around lying to people, playing with Melissa. Again. See, yesterday I was in Virginia's restaurant. Okay, Carrollton. There was a guy sitting right behind me. My chair is bumped up. He's talking to him. He said, it is what's going on. The federal government's after that big hospital. They're saying they're releasing people's information and come out that it's to a drug dealer. They are looking to shut them down for releasing people's medical records unauthorized. And everybody in it can get involved can get arrested 35 to 45 years or more. And this is what's going on. They're looking to shut that big hospital down. And we all realize that Henry Moffey is that con man saying that he's retired Judge P, Agent Will. And he's just that some guy Pete Dave hired on his own. That is just him doing it. Him and that other guy, that old ass that said he drugged me up for Dave and told me to say lies. Like they said it. The old guy that showed up and said that stuff in front of the investigator was the second guy Dave hired. Yeah, and the guy was running his mouth. You need to find out who was at that table behind me. Because he was making stupid comments and the people that watch her were mad she didn't work out. Fuck you. I didn't feel good. I work. And I'm tired. And I didn't feel good in it. Too bad. Too damn bad. She put all kinds of money in that house where it was so horrible. The guy that watches her. For the case. Yeah, I've seen all kinds of stuff. So they had to put all kinds of money in that place to fix it up. I know. Because I couldn't get Cowardy Carl to leave from right next to somebody he knew. Thinking they protected him. Where I got him the fucking hell out of here. Oh, see, that's where Saturday they found out they couldn't just have a doctor write up fraud on me and her in court. And not tell me. And it's not my doctor. My God. They found out she'd have to have a competency hearing and would have had to stay in a state hospital. She didn't listen to Kathy Stoneman a year ago. The only way they can find you insane or incompetent is to be in a state hospital. And the state hospital gets a hold of courts. You have to be there. And they have to be there for your behalf. Not against you, but for your behalf. Of telling the judge that they're pleading for the courts to take care of you for you have a brain disorder. It's not curable. You can't take care of yourself. You need a social security disability, a guardian, social worker, and the judge has to explain it to you. That you still have all your rights, but you now have people over you to make sure that everything's taken care of, And they'll even make sure that they're doing their job. They got people in the courts to watch them. And there has to be a competency hearing. It's a federal law. You can't just pay up somebody to write up fraud. So those idiots yelling the dirty words at me. You're nothing but a fucking liar. See, that's where they started that shit. They tried to do the Charles Manson shit, death by proxy. They, after that guy threatened me and all this other stuff, and they're laughing at how they were drugging me up and telling me to say stuff before, photoshopped all their lives. 18. Okay? They talked about getting a group of people to hang me. They were going to get a lynch party. By June, July of 19 out in Canal Fulton, they said they were trying to get a group of people to beat me to death. They have been, they told people, where I've heard, they sent out these horrible emails, drug confessions, photoshopping and washing. And then tell people that she has charges of rape, murder. She's been in several state psychiatric hospitals, found insane, and the police won't arrest him. My God, I'd be scared of me. They put me off as a great rapist killer. And told society, since the police won't arrest him, that they need to kill me themselves. They're pleading for society to take me out. My God, that's why I was almost shot in the head driving. People show up and terrorize me for a drug scam from some drug dealer. Some drug dealer in debt to the drug cartel. He's running a con on me, thinking the government will hand him money. If they think they can trick Agent John into handing it to him. Huh? Why are they even messing with me at this point? He ain't gave it to you in 7 years. You ain't gonna get a fucking dime. Like the guy said, the cartel's even turned on him. Oh, the cartel turned on him on September 30th, 25. They turned on him in September of 23. Where up in Akron, I was sitting outside with a client. Said that even the drug dealers doing this don't even find it funny. Did she do anything wrong? No. Drug dealers already confessed they photoshopped everything. Made everything up on her. Made fun of the FBI for falling for it. Are they going to do anything about it? We don't know, but none of this is funny. Even asked her ex-husband if they ever said it was a medication error and fraud that made her sick before. He said yes. They did encourage them to sue those doctors for years. He didn't say a word and let all those people hurt her. None of this is funny. A lot of cartel left. They left in 21. A lot of them too. When they admitted a shower scene in the other room. They put clips together to make that porn. It's not her, it's them. Then what you're describing as showering. Ha 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 ha. She figured out what they did. And they admitted to drugging me and telling me to say it before. Repeatedly. A lot of them left. Then in 22, when they admitted to framing me. By the end of 22, they were mocking people for falling for this. And by 23, they were mocking the feds. And they've even got to the point they even admit what kind of drugs they used on me. I get fucking tired of these stupid shit-ass people. You leave your house to harass a rape victim, a human trafficking victim, that some drug dealer and his friends are running a con on? So he can pay back his drug debt to some big drug dealers? Well, it'd been better if the big drug dealers would have just took it out on you and your pathetic family, thinking you have to hurt others and extort money out of other people because you're messed up in drugs and you did a bad drug debt. You should have paid for it yourself. You leave other people out of your shit. And you fucking ass bitch lady, they already know all about you. The FBI already announced in March of 23, they know about you. They told people I never hurt anyone. Nobody's ever seen anything. It was just some lady thought she could make money off of it. They know about you. And then with that Henry Moffitt, that other guy, that you're part of the drug debt. Huh? You're part of that little extortion group. Huh? And you've already lost the backing of a lot of drug cartel. They don't find you funny. Where that biker brought that Michelle down. On September 30th, 25 at 1 o'clock in the morning, they told us no one's allowed to say a word to her again. The drug cartel told them. They found out that this whole thing was your family's drug debt to those drug dealers. The big ones that showed up. And that girl was that short hair, blonde hair girl from Faith Family Church, because that's his daughter. And they called her, I'll tell you what, I was down in New Philly after September 30th, 25. My God, you tell everybody not to say a word to her. That guy's daughter, Michelle, she's a Michelle too, admitted they even human traffic people to pay off those debts to those drug dealers. We all knew this thing was a scam, so that they could scam people out of money to pay off those drug dealers. And everybody was willing to help out with a scam to pay off those debts to those drug dealers. And my God, that girl admitted her family even human traffic people. They sold people to pay them back. You tell everybody not to say a word. We already knew the whole thing was a scam. Where she admitted, this whole thing was a scam for her family's debt to drug dealers. Now, Agent John, I'd like my money, a new name, new social, a new place for me and Carl to live, where it's safe. My money, a medical card, and a letter of thank you for helping out with this case. And that lady shows up and says anything to you, get a picture of her. Get her plate number, her ID, and turn her over to the FBI, the sheriffs. Record her if you can. Put it up on a social media that she's a human trafficker running scams on people. Make her publicly known for who she is and everybody else involved. That's how you stop them.